Hey guys, welcome back to Small Doses of Insight. On December 18th of last year, I made my very first YouTube video on a character analysis about Gian from My Mister. I still kinda cringe looking back and watching it because even though I poured my heart and soul into it, I wrote that script with literally a thesaurus next to me to try to sound, I guess, more like other video essayers. But after experimenting and making 19 videos up to this point, this one being the 20th, I figured that the best way for me to express my true thoughts and feelings would be to speak directly from the bottom of my heart, as if I'm having a conversation with you guys, instead of presenting it as if I'm defending a PhD thesis or something. With that being said, to close off this year, this will be my fourth and probably final video on the K-drama My Mister. I feel like I've said all that I wanted to say about this drama, but if I feel like I discover something else in the future I want to cover, I may come back and revisit this show. So with this final love letter to this magnificent show, I bid it farewell. Alright, buckle up dudes, because My Mister is the kind of K-drama that hits you like Truck-kun, but if Truck-kun was emotional. If you're into a tearjerker that explores the deepest trenches of the human soul, My Mister is your jam. We're talking about trauma, isolation, healing, and that weird magical thing called human connection. So let's break down this masterpiece and dive into how it portrays emotional healing through human connection. And yeah, spoilers ahead because we gotta talk specifics. First off, let's talk about our two main sad sacks, Park Dong-hoon and Lee Ji-an. Dong-hoon is in his 40s, living that sad dad energy to the max. The guy's life sucks. His wife is cheating on him, his day job is a pressure cooker of office politics, and he's basically carrying his entire dysfunctional family on his back. Gian, on the other hand, is like a walking trauma case in her 20s. She's got loan sharks on her tail, a terminally ill grandmother, and a coldness in her eyes that screams, "Don't get close or you'll regret it." These two meet, not exactly in a Disney movie kind of way, but more in like a wow, life sucks kind of way. Gian is a temp worker at Dong-hoon's company, and after a bit of a sketchy beginning, let's just say she was spying on him for her loan shark, they start to connect in a way that defies the usual K-drama cliches of romance or dramatic love confessions. Nah, this one is deeper. It's raw and all about healing. One of the cool things about My Mister is that it totally sidesteps romance between Dong-hoon and Gian, which is honestly what you're expecting because K-dramas usually throw in love triangles or forbidden love like it's a mandatory feature. But this show says, hold my soju, we're doing something else. The bond they form is all about trust and emotional healing. Dong-hoon's kindness helps Gian realize that she doesn't have to shoulder the world alone, while Gian, in her quiet, watchful way, helps Dong-hoon see that life isn't just an endless stream of disappointments. By skipping the romance, the show zeroes in on something more powerful, the fact that human connection doesn't need to be romantic to be life-changing. These two heal each other just by being present, being vulnerable, and showing compassion when no one else will. They bond over shared suffering, but more importantly, they give each other the space to breathe. You don't get that in your typical rom-com. Let's focus a bit on Gian because damn, this girl's been through it. She's not your typical K-drama heroine. She's got survival mode cranked up to 11. When Dong-hoon shows her simple acts of kindness, it basically breaks through the walls she's built around herself. Dude buys her some tomatoes, it's a thing, trust me. Helps her out despite his own problems and sees her when the rest of the world just overlooks her. Gian's journey from total isolation to finally being able to ask for help is subtle but powerful. It's like she's been in survival mode for so long that when someone finally gives her a bit of kindness, she's shook. She's also carrying a massive guilt trip over her role in the death of Kwang-il's father, the loan shark, and her emotional breakthrough moment is when Dong-hoon confronts Kwang-il for beating her up. Dong-hoon basically tells Kwang-il that he would have done the same thing Gian did. He understands her pain, her trauma, and in that moment, Gian starts to break down emotionally. Empathy is the turning point in her healing process. Now, Dong-hoon bro, let's be real. He's kind of a walking pity party at first. His life is a mess, and he's just going through the motions like so many middle-aged dudes in real life. But what makes him interesting is how he refuses to give up on his principles even when everything around him is going to hell. He doesn't lash out or drown himself in soju every night, though sure, there's definitely some of that. But instead, he remains kind and empathetic even to strangers like Gian. Dong-hoon's emotional labor, helping Gian without asking anything in return, is low-key heroic. In a way, he's healing himself by helping her. It's like the universe threw this broken young woman in his path to remind him that yeah, life sucks, but that doesn't mean you stop being a decent human being. He finds a sense of purpose again by helping Gian, and through that, he starts to heal from his own broken marriage and career drama. We gotta talk about the supporting cast for a second because My Mister isn't just about Dong-hoon and Gian. The Park family dynamic is rough, but real. Dong-hoon's two brothers are a mess. One's broke, the other one's an out-of-work film director, but their bond is unbreakable. The show emphasizes how important family is for emotional survival, even when that family is dysfunctional. There's this sense that no matter how much they screw up, they've got each other's backs. It's like a less flashy Korean version of Fast and Furious's family theme, but instead of drag races, they sit around drinking beer at the neighborhood bar, sharing their woes. Jian's family situation is the polar opposite. Her only family is her deaf grandmother, and her care for her is both heartbreaking and touching. Jian's responsibility for her grandmother is her only real human connection at the beginning of the show. It's not until she meets Dong-hoon that she learns that other people can be a part of her emotional safety net as well. Alright bro, let's take a step back and think about what My Mister really does to your brain, your heart, and your overall view of life. You know how some shows leave you all hyped up, but then there are others that make you sit in silence after the final episode just staring at the screen like, what just happened to me? My Mister is one of those shows, man. It lingers in your head long after it's done, like the emotional equivalent of that hangover you know is coming but can't avoid. Here's the thing, this drama isn't just about the individual characters going through their messed up lives. It's a commentary on how broken we all are and how instead of toughing it out solo, we need human connection to heal. We don't get any hero rescues here, no dramatic love confessions, just two people helping each other out by being there. There's something deeply human about that. It's like the drama is saying, yo, life is hard, but it doesn't have to be lonely. Let's start with the whole concept of vulnerability. I mean, most of us walk around with a mask on pretending we're fine, and then we go home and just collapse from the weight of it all, right? Dong-hoon and Gian don't have the luxury of pretending anymore. They're at rock bottom from the start. Their lives suck in ways that are just too real. But instead of curling up in a ball and saying, well, that's it, they find solace in their weird, quiet relationship. Neither of them really asks for help, but they're both desperate for it. That's the human experience right there. Sometimes you don't even know what you need until someone just shows up and gives it to you, no questions asked. The idea that healing doesn't come from some grand gesture, but from small, consistent acts of kindness, man, that's deep. It reminds you that people can have a huge impact on your life just by being there. We see that all over the show. Dong-hoon doesn't really do much for Gian, but his presence, his refusal to abandon her, is what starts her healing process. That's a heavy lesson, dude. Like, how often do we forget that just showing up for someone can be the most powerful thing? We think we need to fix everything, but My Mister hits you with the truth. You don't need to fix people. You just need to be there while they figure things out for themselves. Another huge thing this drama tackles is the disconnect between generations, especially in a society like today, where older people are expected to hold everything together while younger generations are getting crushed by new pressures. Dong-hoon and Gian have this massive age gap, but what they share goes beyond that. It's this sense of disillusionment that cuts across age, culture, and gender. Dong-hoon's got the pressures of being the family man, the good guy, holding down a soul-sucking job, while Gian is just trying to survive like a lot of younger folks these days who are drowning in hopelessness. It's almost like they're different versions of the same person at different stages of life. And we gotta talk about the ending because it doesn't tie things up neatly in a bow. Some people wanted a big romantic resolution between Dong-hoon and Gian, but the fact that the show doesn't give us that is what makes it resonate more. It's not about getting everything you want, it's about getting what you need. Dong-hoon and Gian don't need each other romantically, they need each other as mirrors, as reminders that yeah, life's a mess, but we don't have to go through it alone. The smile Gian gives at the end, that's growth. That's her finding some hope after being dragged through hell. In reflecting on this drama, what hits hardest is how it shifts your perspective on the little things. It makes you realize that healing isn't always a dramatic one-time thing. Sometimes it's slow, it's subtle, and it happens when you least expect it. My Mister is a wake-up call to look around and recognize that the people in our lives, even those who seem insignificant or distant, might be the ones who keep us going when things get tough. So in short, My Mister is like an emotional endurance test that teaches you that while life can suck royally, human connection, real deep unfiltered connection, is what pulls you out of the darkness. Not everyone's gonna have a Dong-hoon or Gian in their life, but the show challenges to be that for someone else. Because let's face it, we're all just trying to make it through, and sometimes all we need is a reminder that we're not alone, no matter how bad things get. So let me ask you a question. Is emotional healing through human connection always a mutual process? Or can one person heal without the other changing at all? Now, looking at my mister, it's pretty clear that both Dong-hoon and Gian get something from their relationship, right? Dong-hoon finds purpose again, and Gian starts to believe that maybe, just maybe, she's not doomed to a life of suffering. But here's where the drama gets interesting. If you dig deeper, you'll notice that Gian's healing is way more obvious than Dong-hoon's. Dude stays as a stoic rock most of the time. Sure, he reconnects with himself and his family, but he's still got that whole repressed, old school, don't show your feelings thing going on. So can Gian truly heal if Dong-hoon doesn't change much himself? The answer seems to be yes. She doesn't need Dong-hoon to magically become a new person or even fix his own issues for her to start healing. What she needed was someone to treat her like she was worth something, to see her and not judge her. Dong-hoon gives her that, and even though he doesn't undergo a huge dramatic transformation, his steady, quiet presence is enough. Healing then isn't always about a mutual change. It can be about one person learning to believe in themselves because someone else believes in them first. Wait, this sounds oddly familiar. The show leaves us with a powerful message. You don't always need the other person to heal themselves for you to start your own journey. It's not about being fixed by someone else, but being seen, understood, and given the space to grow. That's a pretty mind-blowing realization, right? My mister reminds us that in real life, we're not always going to have people around us who change dramatically, but their impact on us can still be profound. So yeah, bro, the next time you're wondering whether someone needs to change for you to move forward, think back to my mister. Maybe you just need them to be there, solid and steady, while you figure things out. In the end, my mister delivers a message that'll hit you right in the feels. Healing doesn't come from a knight in shining armor, but from genuine human connection. It's Dong-hoon's quiet, persistent kindness that helps Gian believe in herself again, and it's Gian's presence that helps Dong-hoon find the strength to rebuild his life. Their relationship is proof that the most transformative connections don't have to be romantic. Sometimes, you just need someone who sees you for who you are and is willing to sit with you through the storm. This isn't your typical feel-good drama, it's more of a feel-everything drama. You watch it and suddenly you're thinking about all the people in your life who've helped you and you're like, damn, I should call my mom. My mister is a slow burn, but it's worth every second if you want to watch something that reminds you that no matter how crappy life gets, there's always hope when we open ourselves up to others. And with that being said, goodbye, my mister. Thanks everyone for watching this video. If you enjoyed what you saw, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more content like this. Also be sure to check out my other videos for more insight on other dramas and shows. Your support means a lot to me and it helps me grow this channel. If you have any thoughts, questions, or suggestions for future videos, please drop them in the comments down below. Again, thank you for watching this video and I'll see you next time.